This conference will now be recorded.
So today we will discuss about the next topic is converters. So as you can see here, uh, we have the converters. So what is the use of these converters? When we have the format of the data, is it it not in XML format? Then we have these options to use to convert the data into XML. And if you wanted to send it to the different format from CPI to any other system, then you can use either XML or JSON, CSV. You can change, you can choose any type of the format. But in the CPI, it always runs through the XML format. Right? So if the data is not in XML, then immediately they have to convert first into XML. Then it will process it, right? So here we have SAP is giving a options to use these converters. Okay. So go to the message transformers, then converters. So once you choose this, you can see there are 4 type of converters, right? XML to JSON, JSON to XML, CSV to XML, XML to CSV. Alright. So first look one by one.
So the system will accept only XML, JSON, CSV formats only. Yeah?
Yeah,
It will
the
not accept
system
any text. Yeah.
system will accept XML format, and if the data is not in that XML format, then have to process convert into the XML. So for that, these options are available.
Okay. Okay.
And also, once you finished with the XML and you wanted to send it to the different format after the end message, through the on the receiver side, so you can send it to the different format as well by using these converters. For example, now in this iflow, we wanted to send the to the a different format, right? So here what we have updated in the body. So in the body we updated. Okay, this is it is not in the XML format, right? It is not in the XML format. And now we were converted into the XML format. Okay. Uh, then if you send it to the mail and the output, it will show you into the XML format. Okay. Same way, if the data is in XML, we will use XML to CSV. If you want the data to CSV, for example, in the real time, we use place the file in the SFTP folder, right? So we can't place it in XML format, hmm, because if you place it in XML format and other resource systems, it's difficult to upload into their system. Right? It has to be in the flat file or CSV. Yeah? So before placing the file, we use the converter XML to CSV. We have one type of converter, right? XML to CSV. We will use that converter. Okay. XML to CSV. I think first let's use XML to CSV. Then we'll come back. Actually, XML to CSV is very mostly we can use it all the time. Why? Because um, like to place the file in the SFTP adapter, or you wanted to send the file to the any other servers through CSV. So most of the times we use the XML to CSV. So once we understand the XML to CSV, then we will come to the next one is CSV to XML. Mm, So first let us understand this iflow. So we have used the timer scheduler to run immediately. Then we have used the request reply to extract the data from SuccessFactors system. Okay. So what type of data we are extracting? We are extracting the EMP job. Okay. Job information details we are extracting from the SuccessFactors system. And once you extracted the data comes into which format? XML format. Okay. So that XML format we wanted to convert into CSV. So for that you have used this step. So where it is there this step, go to message transformers, right? Then go to converter, then XML to CSV. This one, right? Once you click this, once you press this step will come. Okay. So once you place the step, then there is a small configuration here. So here you need to give the path to the source element in XSD. What is the path there in the XML path? In that EMP job, right? So slash EMP job slash EMP job. That is the path in the file. And next field separator. So you can choose any type of the field to make it separator from the field to field. Okay. So here we selected comma. If you want semicolon or a pipe symbol, you can use that. Next is include field names as headers. So the header lines, if you want, you can tick this mark. If you don't want, just uncheck this. Parent element and attribute values. If you wanted to say yes, it is restricted, okay, those kind of parent elements will, if you want, those attribute values about the field values status, it will come. Generally, we don't want these as well, so we uncheck that. So basically here only two steps. One is give the path and the second is just a field separator. Once you are given that this tab, so the XML to CSV is an inbuilt step, right? So automatically any XML data that will convert into the CSV. So here we have used the mail. In the mail we are sending to the personal email, you know. So just use the mail adapter to attach the file. Okay, so here we attach the file empjob.csv. Okay, yeah, I put the file name is called emp.gsv. So yeah. So csv file, right name, emp job. Okay, then click on security, none. So you can see the csv file from the mail. So just save as.
And how about that request reply from SuccessFactors project?
Yeah, from SuccessFactors, getting data from SuccessFactors, we use the request reply. Okay, so once you extracted the data from SF, it is in the XML format only. Right? So same data you are converted to the CSV. Let's use the mail. So the step is completed. So now go to the mail.
Your voice is a little low, Kumar.
Okay. Okay. So you can see the the attachment that is there in the mail. Okay. So if you open the CSV file, so you can get the employee data and the EMP job information. Okay. So let me download this and open. So we have given the field separator, right? So field separator, we have chosen the comma. If you want a pipe symbol, you can use that as well. So what are the details are coming? Position, start date, FTE, location, event region, department, sequence number, employment type, division, event, company, user ID, and pay grade, job code, employees to job type. So all these details have come up. So the first line shows header line, and the second line about the data of the employee. So now, if you don't want the header line, then just go back to click on edit. And what to do if you don't want a header line? Just click on this, then go to processing and just remove the header line. Right? So next, in the subject line, to make it understandable easily, you just put the file name is emp job, underscore without the header line, right? Let's use job one so that easily to understand. Then click on save as and deploy. So now check the messages. It is in the processing. So now it is completed. Okay. So once it is completed, then you can go to the mail and you see the file name now emp job one, right? So click on the file and just click on the file. So now if you see it, there is no header line. Why? Because we have removed the header line. So the only one record that is showing here. Okay. So this is how you can do the conversion from any XML to CSV. CSV means not only the Excel, you can save it as a .txt, right? And .csv, those two flat file you can say. Okay, so those extensions will work.
Hey Kumar, what if the requirement says like the input file is a text file from the vendor? So how do we convert when it comes into HCI?
Yeah, that is what in the next iflow.
Oh, okay,
So this
okay, got it.
is for the CSV flat file to XML format. Okay, so we will discuss the next one. So that will goes into the, as you were asking about the
Is
flat
that
file.
anything that we need to see in the previous configuration, CSV, sorry, XML to CSV? Because we are going through the existing ones, right? So have we gone through the each and every section?
What?
I'm just checking, like, whether we gone through each and every component and section of the iFlow. Hope we did not miss anything. Okay.
No, I didn't get you what you're saying.
No, it's
What is
already the existing one, right? So what I was saying, like, we went through each and every section, right? General, suppose say, like, here says general runtime configuration, error configuration. I'm just checking.
runtime configuration? No, I
Is
didn't
that
get you.
anything that we need to specifically look into the section earlier one while maintaining
You,
those iFlow?
you mean to add more elements in the iflow?
No, Kumar. So what I was looking is, like, we have So that XML to CSV connector, right? So
Yeah.
there are like, can you please select that XML to CSV converter?
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, okay, we have only general and processing. So
Correct.
general, we have only the description, is it?
Yes. Generally, nothing but description.
Okay, and the
And
processing we have.
processing, as I told you, to follow the two fields.
Okay. And you said like parent element. Could you please repeat that parent element?
Parent element is another attributes about the field status. It shows that yes, it is okay, not okay, viewable. Now the characteristics of the field it shows in the CSV. So those are the additional info that will shows. Generally, we wanted only the data and the header lines. So therefore, most of the times you will be unchecked. Is parent element. If you want,
When
you can select.
exactly they'll be used?
You don't use. If you want to use, you can use it. Just check enable and just deploy and see what kind of information details that is coming. So just about the characteristics of the field. Okay. But really, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat?
That's it. I mean, I thought like we had different sections, so I thought I missed in something. So that's the reason like I was checking with you again. Like have we gone through the each and like the different sections of that XML to CSV converter?
Okay. Okay. So now we go to the CSV to XML. So as he is asking about how we can convert from flat file to XML. Okay, that is also an important thing. Why? Because let's say for example there is a requirement like pick the file from the SFTP and run through the iflow in CPI, right? So how to do that, those scenarios? Of course, it just we are discuss since we are discussing about the converters, we are using these converters. Okay, it doesn't mean that the whole high flow is completed. There are so many steps that will be involved in the high flow. Okay, but here our topic is how to convert the data. So therefore, we are using understand easily. We are just running through high flow. Okay, but converter step is one of the step in the whole high flow. So now it is CSV to XML. CSV to XML, okay, simply understand there are only two steps here. So we have used the content modifier. In the content modifier, this is the CSV data, the flat file data. It is not an XML. Okay. So we just updated the text manually in the body. Okay. Now it is there in the, now we have used the another step called CSV to XML. Okay. So if you just look at the general means, wherever you see the tab, just for the description only. Okay. Let's say for example, you wanted to convert, convert to XML. Just for the description purpose, every step, the general tab is available. The next processing. Okay. So this is where it is important. So the processing about the XML schema. So here you just understand what exactly we are converting here. We are converting the flat file data, right? So when you are converting the flat file data, that is nothing but there is a tree structure, the content, the structure that you are converting. It's not like one or two values that you are converting it. You just think from enterprise perspective. When we are converting the data, that means there is a structure that maintains, right? So each row talks about the records of the employee, and each and field will talks about their system fields. So that you wanted to convert into XML. So that means you have to follow the same structure as well. For example, when we are extracting from the success factor system, right? How we are extracting it? You are selecting the entity, right? Once you connected to the SF system, you are selecting the entity like EMP job or per personnel. Then you are selecting the fields which are showing under the entity, right? So same way for every structure will follow in the same manner. So there is an entity and the fields are available. So that you need to convert into XML. Okay, so to convert to XML means this step will do the whole exercise of converting the that fields of this information to into the XML data. Otherwise, the structure doesn't follow properly. So that is why the first field here it is showing XML schema. Okay, XML schema means what is the schema that you are following it here. Okay, so this is that means here you need to create XSD file. Whatever you are seeing here person.xsd, the person.xsd file is created. Okay, so created means once you open this file, this will be there. The 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 data that is updated in the content body, the content modifier body, it will show the same data. Okay, so let's look at and open the data. So go to, so now I am asking a question. Now I can see here the person.xsd file, right? As you are seeing person.xsd file that is uploaded into this iflow. I wanted to download that file. Where I go and download the file? Srinivas, do you know how to download the file? Yes, you are seeing that, right? .xsd file. We want to download the file. How to download? Yeah,
Is it XML format, Kumar, the file?
yeah,
XSD.
XSD, yeah, XSD file in XML format. Whatever the files you are uploading into the iflow, where do we go and download the file? Any idea? Or from anyone?
Would it be in the SFTP server?
No, not SFTP server. You are uploading into the iflows, right? Inside of the
Okay.
iflow, like XSD or mapping or the attachment, whatever the files that you are uploading into the iflow, where do we go and download?
One thing, like, are we uploading the file or are we feeding the file to the iflow?
No, this file is .xsd file is .xsd file contains the structure, right? So that you are created manually by yourself and uploading into the iflow. Feeding the data, processing the data, that is from sender to the receiver. But
Yeah.
here we are preparing that iflow. We are developing the iflow, right? So for that, this XSD file is relevant to our development of the iflow. So not
Okay.
relevant with the data.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So my question is here, whatever the things that you are developing in terms of the physical files that will be stored in the iflow. Somewhere will be stored. What is that somewhere? Where do we go and download?
Do we have an option of tables?
Yeah, no.
Eh,
So okay, I will tell
Like
you.
persistence?
No. Persistence will store data, not the technical
Okay.
thing. Yeah. So you just click on this white canvas. Okay. Once you click on it, wherever you click on the white canvas, it will shows like this, these tabs, right? So just click on resources. So once you click on the resources, whatever the things that you are preparing, everything will be stored under this tab resources. Okay. For example, in the coming days, you have prepared the mapping, right? all the mapping structures, those will be stored here. And tomorrow you are preparing the script, so those script files will be stored here. And you're preparing the schemas like XSD file, so those will be stored here. And you are connected to the success factor system. Okay, so once you connected to the success factor system and query the data, so that the .xsd and edmx files are generating, right? So those files are stored here. So everything relevant to the iflow, that will be stored here. So if you want any any file you wanted to download, just click on the resources tab and just click on the button called the download, then you can get it. Okay, so now just open the XSD file. Let's see what it contains. Okay, so now just click on this, open with the notepad. So now you can see this is the code that is written in the XSD file. Okay, so this kind of XSD file has to be prepared by yourself. Okay, so I will tell you how to create this .xsd as well. Okay. Okay, anyway, the situation comes, so let's talk about creating XSD.
And the base skeleton for each and every XSD file will be different for every interface, Kumar? Would
Yes,
the
exactly.
fields? Okay.
Yeah, it will be. So let's see what it is there in the XSD file. So the first line which shows about, since it is in XML, it it follow the standard of XML version taglines. And the next, the schema that is referring the sites about the sites of the schema where it is generating on the reference sites of the XML. So it will show us these are the common thing, because these are the company that is preparing this kind of existing warning by that. So next is the what is the element name that we are choosing that. For example, in success factors EMP job entity, right? So that you can give it here. Then under that you can see person. Okay, then the list of fields that you are representing, those three fields, it is showing here. One is the name, age and gender. Okay, so three fields. So the XML structure, by seeing this XSD you can visualize the XSD file. Okay, how it will be? The first thing is, it will be there first, the person list. The person list is a, what is this, what is called, it is a node list. Okay, then next a person, you can call it as a node. Then you can see the name, age, right? Name, age, or all these things we call it as, of course technically we call it as a fields, but here you can call it as a elements or parameters. Okay, so name, age, gender, or these three are the, so this is how the structure will be, the XML structure will be formed. The main thing is the person list, under the person, okay, then followed with the fields. So if you go to the content modifier, and in the content modifier go to the body, what are the fields that we are maintaining here? Each record is maintaining three fields, right? Each record, each line will follow the three lines. Okay, so those three lines are representing these three. The first field presenting name, and the second field age and gender. And what is the field separator they have given here semicolon. From the field to field, they have used the step called semicolon. Okay, don't give whatever the data that you wanted to update in. You need to, based on the file that you are preparing the XSD, same way it will identify the data. Okay, so this is about the XSD file. Now let's look at the converter step. Now once you go to the convert to XML, the first one is the XML schema. Okay, so the XSD file what you have prepared you need to upload by selecting this file. That is step one. And the next, path to target element in XSD. What is the path to represents the structure? Okay, so you need to give this path person list / person, because under this node the list of fields are there, right? So you should give that path. So person list / person. Record marker in CSV. So if you have any like a what do you call identifiers? Identifiers means like in the parent element, once you selected, some identifiers will come, right? Characteristics of the field status is okay. Those are identifiers, additional attributes. If that information is available in the file, you should give those identifiers. What are the identifiers that represents? Like status is one of the identifiers, or the any other information. That means most of the times it is empty only. So you can give based on the if the CSV file contains. And the next, field separator. So what is the separator that we have chosen in the CSV? You can give. So here we have chosen the semicolon. So there we have given there. So now exclude first line header. If the CSV file contains the header, then you should check this box. If the CSV file doesn't contain the header, then you can uncheck. So here in this case, there is no header line. Okay, then you just exclude the first line. Okay, so these are the things about the CSV to XML steps. So here the whole exercise, what is important here is XSD file. Right? How to create XSD file is important. So now let's look at okay. Now let's look at the XML. Let's see the output, and after that we will see how to create XSD file, because here XSD file is our responsibility when you are dealing this kind of scenario. As a integration developer, we have to create the XSD file based on the structure source, based on the source structure. Okay, so
Kumar, based on the source file, like when we maintain the header, right, header with the body, so do we still require to maintain that XSD in XML schema? Is it only for to have the header in the XML file?
no, it's not about it is mandatory to create XSD file for every this kind of scenario. So it is not relevant with the header line. Header line is about in the last field separator. So in the you have a header line, you just check this box. If you don't have header, if the CSV file doesn't have header, then uncheck. If it is header, just check. But in the coming to the XML schema, it is not relevant with the header. It is about what is the schema that is following, what is the structure that represents the data that you are updated. Okay, so what kind of a data it represents. So for that reason, we will create the XSD file. And for that matter, in fact, every XML structure there is an associated with the XSD file. Without a XSD file, the relevant XML structure will not follow. Okay. For example, systems like SuccessFactors or SAP Ariba or Hybris, if you take any cloud system and you're extracting some, you're selecting the fields and you're querying, then the associated XST file is automatically generated by the system. So therefore, in those cases, you don't need to create XST. But here you are preparing this XST because of the data that you are selecting from the CSV. Okay, so the CSV file where you are picking up this file, that is not a live system. Therefore, it is not able to, there is no mechanism to generate automatically. That is the reason we have to create by ourselves. Okay. So now just see the mail, then click on the connection. Then here also, if you want to add the attachment, you can just click on add attachment, and you can say what they call partition XML dot txt. Okay. So can we text plain add attachment. Okay. And okay, so content. Okay. Okay, so this is converter 1 is completed. Now go to the mail and just look at it. So here we have the XML. Just open the txt. You can see. So now it has come up with XML structure. So let me download and open. If you look at here, okay. So there, if now the data is converted into XML format. Now if you go back to the content modifier and see the data, first the first line is Hemant semicolon 12 semicolon M, right? So now if you go to the person list, under person you can see those names: name Hemant, age 12, gender M. So this record as created in the XML format this way. Okay, so the taglines represents the field names. So next, second record, again second record is formed with the node. Okay, so each record means I can say each line. Okay, so each line will represents the node. Okay, so how many nodes are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are total 5 nodes. Okay, that is why you can see. So the person is nothing but node. Okay, so the person list which started with that is called a node list. The node list always unique once only. It begins and it ends. So after that the node will start. Node is nothing but a record. Okay, so each node, how many records are there, that will be created each. So each node contains again the fields. So here we call it the elements. So each record, if there are 5 or 6, that will represents about the under the node, and these nodes depends on the record it will create it. Okay, so that is why in the path you are giving node list slash node. That is why in the converter you can look at the next field about path to target element. Path to target element, what we have given here, person list slash person. Okay, why? Because we want to give the we want to give the path about the access key, so that is the path that is maintaining here. Therefore we are given the path, the node list slash node. Up to node you can give, no need to give about the fields. Okay, why? Because once you are given the node, it will identify what is the elements. So from there it will understand the rest of the elements will show us about the fields. Okay, we should give only the path. And also the path always in the XML structure, mostly 90% it will follow in the same path. Okay, node list slash node. Once you are given the node, then it is fine. No need to give for the fields. Any questions from this?
Kumar, or suppose if we have in a queue 2-3 different nodes, then in that case, how we will configure?
Uh, 2 to 3 different nodes. You can say, meaning, for example, if you take a job information, under the job information, let's say there is employment information, under the company information, that will be there. But it is okay as long as you can give the node details so that it will understand. But each node represents the different structure, then that is not the right XML structure, right? XML structure also always formed in the uniform way, where the node list and node it will follow. Maybe in the node list one more node will be there, right? Or in the node list it starts with the from the root, from there it will start. So maybe the path will be longer, but each node represents in the same format of the XML. For example, here as you are saying, person list slash person is one node, and second node is let's say woman. Okay, second node is a different node, like the different nodes that will not be there now in the XML. That is not in a right XML way. Okay, so the methodology of the XML is to maintain the node list and node and followed with the fields. So that is how it will be there. Otherwise, that is we will not call it as XML data, because imagine now it is not about XML. You are thinking from the enterprise perspective, from the system perspective. How the system record, each record to record will be different. Maybe the data will be different, but the structure will not be different. Like a table, right? So in the table, the fields and rows, how it is formed, each record will follow the same structure of in the combination of fields and the columns, right? So the same way it represents here.
Sometimes in complex plot file, we are having structure like header, detail, trailer. alike nodes. So in that case,
Okay, give me an example in the scenario so that I will explain. You just give me one scenario. In this scenario, how we will do that? If you ask me like that, then we can run through that scenario. So, example, you are saying from which situation?
in header details, we are passing some company details and
Okay.
detail company information. So
Mm.
in trailer, total number of companies like that, we are passing data. So in
Yeah.
real time, we're having like that, right, in PI.
Okay.
So in that case, in PA, we're going to mention like parameters header dot field names, detail dot field names, and header dot end separator, header dot
Mm.
field separator. Like that, we are maintaining. We will achieve the requirement. But in HCI, how we are going to do that?
Okay. So take the same file. Okay. So in the same file, it will be there the record lines, right? And you are saying number of records are there. So number of records is just a count number, but the same file first you need to prepare the XSD file, XSD structure. Okay. So when you are preparing the XSD structure, there only you will give the whatever the parameters are there, the list. Okay. I mean, as per the parameters that is showing, you will prepare those things in the XSD file. And now I will tell you how to create the XSD file. So there you will maintain the whatever the requirements are there in terms of the fields and the records, characters, everything will maintain in the field. So therefore, whether it is occurrence is happening once or the twice, what is the characteristics of this one and fixed length or the length of the field, everything you will maintain the XSD file. So therefore, the characteristics and the structure will be defined in the XSD file. Okay. As per the XSD file, the system will understand whatever the data that is there in the file. For example, if the data is maintained in the content modifier, there are here instead of 3, I have added one more line. It won't take it here. Okay, it will throw an error. Why? Because the XSD file defined up to 3 only. Okay. So that is why it will not consider this thing. So the CPI will understand through the XSD. Okay. So that is why I'm saying XSD is the key here.
So
Now
before,
the question. Hmm?
so before converting into CSV to XML, it is mandatory to create XSD file, right?
Exactly. So before conversion do the step, you have to do the creation of the XSD.
So where we will do that in Eclipse or maybe like in
Yeah,
our
now let's see how to create XSD. So XSD file, still we use Eclipse to create the XSD file in this type of cases. So there is no option to create by through web UI. As of now, it is not possible to create. Okay, maybe in the future they give the option. So now we use Eclipse to create XSD. Okay. So, has anybody has not yet installed the Eclipse? If anyone has not yet installed, please do that now. Okay.
do we have links to download the Eclipse and all
Hmm?
to download the Eclipse and
Yeah.
what
Down,
add-ons?
down- exactly. So downloading the Eclipse and all, we have a document. There are 5 applications that you need to install on your laptop. There is a one document step by step how to go, what are the link, what is the configuration that is there. You just refer that document. In that I specified Eclipse is one and SOAP UI, and REST API. All the APIs is mentioned. Just go through as per the document. You have not received the document?
No, not yet.
No.
I
So
received
ask,
recording, but
not document. Ask that
yeah,
guy,
okay,
Madhu or Ganesh. They will provide it.
okay, sure.
Okay. So now how to create the XSD. So click on the file, go to the new. click another, and here you can maintain the XML. Okay, here you can see XML schema file. Just click on next, and you just give the name of the file. Okay, let's say you can just give one. So once you created, it will open the file. Okay, so now this is here there are two tabs you can see: design and the resources. Okay, so source means design and source. In the source means if you know very well about the code, you just type the code, what you want, what kind of element and you need to add, you just type through the code and automatically it will add it. If you're not sure about through code, then you just click on design, and here you just through graphical way you can just select the fields and automatically the code will be adjusted. Okay, so now let's do that. Let's right click and click on add element. Okay, once you click on the add element, let's say this is about root. Okay, and the root is the name that I have given as a node list. The first one is node list, right? First one has to prepare the node list, second node, then followed with the fields. So node, so the what type of the node is saying, so you can keep it string, and a minimum occurrence and maximum occurrence, it won't change. This will be okay. Then I can add the new.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me.
Sorry, Kumar. Actually, there was an interruption, so I restarted system. So just checking,
Okay.
so it's like mute.
Okay. So now you just click on the node, right? Now we will click. We will add the node here. Wait, it is not. Oh, it is asking to convert this step. So let me connect this to the internet. So of course, not only through Eclipse, you have if you just Google it, how to create a XSD file, there are so many other ways also there. But since we have been using the Eclipse and we will use this Eclipse for multiple other situations also, so therefore it is a better to continue to use it here. Okay. So now let's do the Just a second more. Recently we have not used the Eclipse now, so it is not.
Yeah. In the meantime, these guys have sent the files. Like it has around 39 Word documents. So in these 39 Word documents, like which document says like I mean the 5 items which you have told to download, right? Like, do you on the fly
Okay.
do you?
It is like a software tools to the documents start with software tools.
The tools it is not there. Soap adapter, splitter, standard content
It's
package.
not there. Then you ask him. I will. I think
No.
somewhere he maintains the drive. We will share the link.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, just give me some time. Just to prepare this. Account. Getting some problem. I think if SAP is providing, if SAP will provide through web UI, we don't need to deal these kind of things here, right?
But currently we are using web UI only, right? Like,
Yeah, we're using web UI, but we are coming back to Eclipse also. For example, now in this case, XSD file. I want to create XSD file. Is it? I can't able to through it through web UI. We have to
okay.
use. Yeah. So now let's use this because ultimately this XSD has to be stored in the package or the iflow, right? So that is the main thing to show. Let's open the new one. Okay, so the first is the, so there are two perspectives here, right? Source, based on the source code you can go, and the design. So in the design, better to go for the design. Then now you click on this, right? Once you click on this, then you can add this type so that the show properties will be shown. You can add the next node. So the node, once you add this node, then you can see the list of fields. So all these fields which are showing here, these all the fields under this node. The node is user event. Okay. So now these are the list of fields that are available. Now you want to add one more field here. Okay. Just right click, insert element. After once you can, it will shows like this. So now you can give the name. For example, okay, dummy. Okay, so you can give the any of the name here. Okay, anyway, we will use in our case. Okay, I'll just copy this. Okay, so now we have this package. We will store in this package. Okay, so we will use this. Go to File, Create New, click on Other, and select XML schema file. Click on Next and select this. And here you can type what's that person, right? Person dot XSP and finish. Now left side you can see the file person. So what is the person now? What is XSP for us? Yes, we can element. You can see person list. Yes, we can enter. Okay. So now you can add the you can add the new thing. You can add this that type new. You can say person. So now add element. Now you can add element like what is the name? The first name is the name itself, right? So you can just give name, string, minimum occurrence and maximum occurrence. I will drop the image. Okay. So now you updated these fields. Now you just click on the code, source code, right? It will be adjusted like this. XML vision, schema, and the main thing is person list, person, then followed with the fields, right? So more or less, you can see this kind of data, right? So this will be generated automatically. Now if you come to the design, then you can see these fields, person list, then you can see the person list of fields here. So now let's look at the technical attributes here. Now if we click on the field name, right, the type, what type of the field? Okay, if the field is like if it is represents the date or date time, you can select. By default you can select string, it will support all the type of the fields. Okay, next, minimum occurrence. What is minimum occurrence? What is maximum occurrence? Okay, this is important. I think PA people from the PA background can understand easily the occurrence. Okay, others just to understand now. The minimum occurrence and the maximum occurrence, how repeatedly the occurrence happens while extracting the, I mean, while using this XST file. Okay, so minimum occurrence means if I set to 0, 0 means no value, right? So if there is no data, it will read the record through XST. Okay, so why? Because set to 0, and maximum occurrence was set to unbounded. That means if that field will read multiple times till the data is available. Okay, that is about maximum occurrence. For example, if I set like this, what will happen? If I set like this, 1 and 1, minimum occurrence was set to 1 and maximum occurrence was set to 1. What will happen? It will read the 3. It will read, I mean, the reading means it refers to the mapping structure, not really now, because we are not, the XSD file is not doing the mapping to conversion, so it might not required here. But if we set to minimum occurrence 1 and maximum occurrence 1, what happens was minimum, if there should be one value, there is a value should be exist, otherwise it will not be read through XSD. So because the minimum occurrence was 1, okay, so the value has to be set. Maximum occurrence also set 1, that if there are two values, it will not read only one, because the maximum read the occurrence is only 1. Okay, so if there are two values or three values, at the end it will read only one value, because if you set like this, 1 minimum and maximum 2. For example, if you set like this, 1 is to unbounded. If you set like this, 1 is to unbounded. So if there is no empty value of this field, name field doesn't have any value, then it will throw an error, because the minimum occurrence is set 1. So that means the value has to be there, okay, in order to read this file. So and if there are more values, it will read. Why? Because the maximum occurrence was unbounded. If I set like this, most meaningful way, 0 to unbounded, if the field doesn't have value, then it's okay. Minimum occurrence was 0. And if there are multiple values, it will read, because the maximum occurrence was unbounded. Okay, so minimum occurrence, maximum occurrence, you can understand the meaning. Okay, we will use mostly in the mapping structures. So if you go back to see the code, you can see this one. Any questions on how to create the XSD file? Hmm? So once you get access, try to practice this easily to understand it.
Yeah, I think once we start working on it, we might have more questions.
Yeah. So maybe if you have any questions, anyway, we will repeat the same thing in the mapping structure because there we use these all XSD files to convert. There we will again to discuss this. Okay.
So, Kumar, do we have field fixed length option in converting flat file?
Field fixed option here is there. If you go to the constraints, there is a minimum length and maximum length here. I can put like minimum length is 6 characters, maximum length is 8 characters. Okay, but I don't suggest this because the generally in the real time the scenario, if any customer is looking for the fixed length is depends on the data. If the data is maintaining 8 characters, 10 characters, it will goes like that. From there it will goes from 10 characters 20 characters. So we will go in the based on the data wise. So would not better to maintain. If you maintain here, what happens is irrespective of the data, the field capacity is 6 to 8, right? So whatever the data, we don't have again the scope. If later on if you want to change, it will affect the whole structure. So but if you wanted to use this way, yes, here is the option to use the minimum length and maximum length. So
But
for
in
that,
con, but we are not seeing any separated like field fixed length.
field fixed length is there, but not here. That will proceed through the Groovy script. Okay. So now try to prepare like to create the XSD file. Now let's come back to use the third converter JSON to XML. JSON to XML is more like if the format is the JSON and it is like XML only. In the XML we have the tags. There it shows the open brackets and closing brackets. So let's look at this. So in the converter, we manually updated the data. This is in the JSON format data. Okay. So this format is JSON format. So that JSON format we are using into converted to the XML format. Okay. There is no much configuration here. Just to use the XML JSON to XML converter and just give the prefix separator. What is the separator they have used? So there they have used the colon. So selected the colon. If you have any other type, you just use that. So use namespaces mapping if you have the any namespace mapping that is defined like if there are two, three, what you call two, three messages that they are using the namespace mapping, then for that they use namespace mapping. Just check the box. Then you can use it to the mail converter, and in the mail converter just as usual here it will come into the XML converter. Let's click on the save as. JSON to XML or XML to JSON, anyway both are working through online, right? So that means the JSON format that will be extracted directly supported by SuccessFactors systems as well. So that is the reason there is no much configuration to do that except to use this directly to use the steps.
So your JSON format will be given by the client, is it?
No, not client like that. If you arrived any kind of the situation that the data is coming into the JSON, or you wanted to send the data into the JSON format from XML, in that situations you use this converter. For example, if there is a third party system, but there they are saying to send the data to JSON format only. Okay, so in that situation we can't say that we are processing XML only. So these converters are helping to convert the data from JSON to XML. So use this step, JSON to XML.
So directly we can convert a JSON to XML without using any REST adapter.
Yeah, you can use it. JSON to XML, you can use it once the data is coming to the JSON. Okay. Before that, if you want to use whether is the whatever the adapter, even not only the REST adapter, if the data is coming through the any other external systems, if you are using that, it will comes into the JSON format. But once you gets into the CPI, in the CPI it will not support the JSON format. So that is the reason we use the converter step. Okay.
One
So
question, sorry, Kumar. In the content modifier, we have specified the fields independently, right? But just in case if we want to put a reference in there, like uh, to locate to a particular location and extract the file from there, instead of specifying individual fields or elements, how do we do that? Is content modifier a place to put that, or
you're talking about the other one, CSV to XML.
yes. Yes, in CSV to XML, and
Okay.
wherein we specified the elements, right? Like the location and uh, uh,
Correct.
like the sorry, the name, the age, and something else.
Yeah.
Instead of
So
that, could we specify a file?
yeah. So just to understand here, we updated in the body, but in the real time we don't update the data in the body. Okay. Generally, how the scenario works in the real time is there is a file in the SFTP folder. There we will pick it the file by using the adapter, and the data comes into the in the CSV format, right? So once the by adapter it comes to the CSV, then we use our steps. What are our steps? Immediate step. First step one, we need to
To
create XSD,
an XML?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, XSD file. So the XSD file you need to create. That is the biggest headache. Why? Because imagine there are 50 fields are there, 50 fields in the spreadsheet or in the flat file. So those 50 fields you have to maintain the structure. Okay, that is
yeah,
one thing. And the second thing, then immediately we use the converter. Which converter? CSV to XML converter. So in the spreadsheet, whatever the as per the structure you defined, as per that the data will be processed. If some of the field doesn't have value, it's okay. It will take the null value. But if some of the things have having value, it will take based on the XSD you defined. It will update in that way. So finally, after the converter, it will convert into the XML taglines and all the fields, whatever the data that you are maintained in the CSV, that will be there in the XML format. So you're saying that reference field or anything, there is no such like that. But what based on the flat file, it will based on the main key thing is XSD file. So it will follow blindly how you define the XSD file. It doesn't matter what type of data that is there in the spreadsheet or the flat file. So it matters how you define the XSD file.
okay.
But in this scenario, Kumar, so when we are directly getting the file from SFTP, So how we'll come to know the structure of that file that we are getting? They're going to share in detail, or we have to prepare
Yeah, of
again by
course. Yeah, they will in the what type of data they are sending. They will clearly give you the list of fields, and also after it's not about only the converter. No, after that there is a mapping structure. How you wanted to map those source fields to the target. So how to what type of field is to be mapped to the target systems. All these things are there. So all the before starting the development itself, you will know it a list of fields which they are sending in the file through file.
And in this example, JSON to XML here is message body. So there is something like when we just have to pick up, right? We have to maintain to
Yeah,
have this
yeah. I
JSON.
mean data. Yeah, the data comes from external system, either sender or the external system. You will get the data. So that data once you comes, after the start message, immediately you have this converter JSON to XML.
Here we no need to maintain the XSD file as it is JSON to
Yeah, yeah.
XML.
No need. JSON to XML or XML to JSON or XML to CSV. These three types, no need to create XSD file. So only there is a one type called CSV to XML. There only you need to create XSD file.
So for only XSSD only, like for the file preparation itself, like we are going to use the Eclipse, is it? Is there no other use?
Now, as of now, the first use you are seeing to Eclipse is create the XSD file. We'll come to know in the future for the other purpose. But as of now, you are seeing for the XSD file creation.
Per suppose we are getting data from web services. So like JSON file is coming from web services through REST adapter. By using REST adapter, this JSON file comes to the CPI. So in that case, no need to use JSON to XML, right? I mean, when it comes to CPI, it will convert from JSON to XML automatic, right? Through adapter.
No, automatically it won't happen. If we need to use this converter step, that is why they have given these converters. No, so if any adapter that is supporting to convert into XML, then it should be before either on the sender side before using the adapter they will send, or if any system that supports, then that's okay. But we need to specify the converters clearly. So as you're saying, for example, there is a one system, what do you call it? Web service utilities. Okay, so that system will use the JSON, but while sending that from their end, that will send through XML. JSON to XML is very easy. Any system will support. So once they are sending that, then no need to use these converters. No, once the sender or the any system from through when they are calling the web service, right? So the data that comes through XML, so then again we don't need to use the XML. But
Yeah,
if the system
actually, the
completely
adapter's functionality is to convert the XML, right? Whether it is
mm,
in or out.
not really, no. So if you take any adapter, which adapter is converting automatically?
In PA, each and every adapter like file or if you take SOAP or every adapter IDOC,
Hmm.
whatever the data is coming while if you use adapter when it comes to PA box, it will convert from that particular format to XML format, right? Suppose if it is IDOC to IDOC XML, suppose if it is a WSDL to XML file like that, then only we
No.
can do.
Okay. So mm, okay, you're thinking.
Understand, right? Other
Okay,
languages
I'll tell
only
you.
understand.
Yeah. So when you say that, for example, here also we have the adapter called IDOC adapter. Okay, that's your example. You can just see. You can put this. So if you see here, if you use application to SAP IDOC, the content type, it will not be in the XML. Okay, when they select a text XML, then it will support this content. So whichever the adapter is nothing but the system where it updates. No, if that supports this content type, whether it is a XML format or the application content, or it depends on the nature of adapter. If the content type it supports, obviously it will convert in that format. No need to use the converters. Okay, let's say it will not supporting the JSON, okay, in this content. So in that case we will use that. So you need to see the type of the adapter. Based on that we can use that. Mhm. So it is always to use the depends on the content type. And when you, for example, when you send the same data to application to sap.idoc, right? So what will happen here when you choose this? So when it is importing into the SAP system, when you're pushing the data, then you can use this type. Okay, so that and the SAP web services will understand what type of the IDOC format that they are supporting. For example, you are sending from SAP system to CPI for the cost center, any other data, we use this format XML. Okay, then in the CPI, it will easily to read the XML format. Okay, so if you choose this format type of things, then no need to use this type of format. So in the same way, for example, you are saying the REST adapter. In the REST adapter, the content type, it will select, if you select the content type, whether it is JSON or XML, if you choose XML, then no need to use the JSON to XML or XML, no, this type. Okay, but there is no thing like automatic way. What type, what format it's supposed, we should know for every adapter. Okay, based on that you will select. Mm, get my point, Ram?
Yeah, I'm not asking like selecting adapters. So I'm asking like suppose in PI will understand only XML in and out. So once it is coming to XML, then only we can do the whatever filtrations and validations and configurations. So based on the content, we are going to select adapters and we are going to do the configurations. That is fine. So what I'm saying, if you use the adapter while coming the data from source system or sending the data to the receiver system, so when it comes to PI, through adapter, through channel, it will pick the file. Through adapter, it should convert right to XML. So
Mm.
this is what functionality we are having in PI, right? Like that in CPI, it will understand only like camel XML, right?
Yeah. So in the PA, you just only support XML, but here we are more formats to support here. So once you adapter will support XML, then that's fine. To choose the respective converter, you can choose that. So in the PA, it supports the same way. It will carry the CA same adapters also, no? So it will support in the CPI as well. So if you take a IDOC adapter or the REST adapter, it will work in the same way in the
Yeah, sure.
CPI.
Suppose if you take a REST, where suppose JSON file is coming into CPI, we used a REST adapter. Okay, JSON file directly will comes to CPI without converting camel XML, and then
Yeah, if it is already coming in XML, why we need to convert again? Don't need to
No,
convert
it
now.
is coming in JSON format only. So
So
from
it is
they are
come.
maintaining their database as JSON format only.
Okay. So if it
So
is coming to the JSON format, which is arrived at the start message, then immediately you have to use the converter JSON to XML.
this
Then
functionality we have directly CPI can receive JSON files.
CPI will receive. Yeah, of course. Why not?
Yeah.
Hmm? So what type of the data that you are selecting through adapter, the data comes like CSV data, how it is coming to CPI? CSV data is coming to CSV now. If the CSV data comes into
So
CPI, why don't JSON comes?
for that we are using the file adapter, right, to receive CSV
Now
files.
forget about adapters, Ram. As of now, just think about converters.
Here
You
we
are
are
mix.
passing the normal data directly through content
No.
modifier, right?
Now you are mixing two things, adapter and the converters. So just look at converters. What is the purpose of having converters here? What is the
Yeah.
purpose of choosing this converter here? Why I'm choosing the converter here? JSON to XML. What type of adapter, what type of which adapter comes support, that is secondary. But why I'm choosing this step here? Why I'm choosing this step here? Why? Because the step, that message, the data comes arrived at this step, that is not in XML format. Therefore, I have used this step to convert it, right? So that means, is it happening in CPA or outside? It is in the inside CPA only. So any data that is coming, the JSON data is coming to the CPI, then immediately I use this step called JSON to XML. Okay, so from here the data will be converted into the XML format. Therefore, you will process further steps, so and so. Okay, so if for example in our case, if the data is coming into the XML, we don't need to give. If the data is coming in JSON, yes, we should use this converter step to convert. So where CPI will support JSON, yes, it will not support. That is why we are using this converter, XML converter. But if it comes into the CPI, means through adapter, like CSV, how it is coming, so same way the JSON also comes. That is why we have only 4 converter options that are possible here.
Okay.
Okay, hope it clarified now. So if you see
Uh,
the list of converters, XML to JSON and JSON to XML, same way CSV to XML, XML to CSV.
just to summarize, like, can you please open that applet or whatever?
Hmm?
Yeah, can you please click open that converters?
Okay, the list of converters, you mean?
Yeah, list
Okay,
of the converters.
yeah.
So just to summarize, uh, CPI system can read XML, JSON, CSV files only.
Yes.
If we have Excel file, it will not accept.
Excel means CSV, no?
Okay, okay, okay. Dot XLS. Okay, with the, again, when we need to convert that into CSV file, and if it is
Yeah.
an XML file, then then there is no need to convert into the other format, as we don't need to use a converter because it by default reads it, right?
Yes. Because the CPI supports XML, so no need to convert anything. It is already in the XML only, no?
Oh,
So all these intentions are using the converters is on the CPI, the cloud platform based on the Camel Foundation. It reads only the in the XML data. Okay. If you want a different formats to send, or different formats that is coming, and you need to convert into XML. Okay. So within the CPI, the whole high flow, it will be processed from step to step in XML data.
So
And
Kumar,
if it
I
is a
have
CSV,
one.
then we need to use the XSD file. That's only CSV file. We need to use the XSD file.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kumar,
Okay.
like let's take like one scenario, like wherein like from SF to CPI, I'm using SOAP adapter. Okay, and need to like load a file into a SAP system. So from CPI again, like I'm getting through a web service. So am I expected that the SAP will be getting a .csv file if it is a web service from CPI?
So when you call the web services, how it will come? Are you you're from PA background or functional?
No, functional.
Okay, okay. So when you're calling the web services, maybe Ram he said PA, no? So you will tell also. So when you call the web services, how the data comes when you're calling the web services? Is it in XML or non-XML? Anyone can answer when they call the XML, what type of format it will come? Always when you're calling through SOAP adapter, right? So it should be in a XML format only. So when you are calling the XML, no need to use any converter.
No, suppose say like I'm just asking you like when I'm getting a file from CPI using a web service, so will I be getting
Huh? Uh, yes, Srinivas.
a .csv file to consume it in a SAP system?
.csv file. .csv file will comes when you use the converter only, no. Otherwise, it won't come. When I will expect CSV file from CPI? When I will expect CSV file from CPI? Yes, it must. When will expect after the converter only, no? After the
Right.
converter from XML to CSV, then the CSV file will be located. So now your question is, can I upload the same CSV file into SAP system? Is it your question?
Yeah, that we can do. So I mean, we do not have any web services right here.
Web services adapters, that is different. No, that we are talking about only converter. So your question is whether the CSV file will support which adapter? Is it
No, I
one
actually
or
got understood. See, so when we are getting a data from extracting the data from SF, so we will be getting into XML in CPI, and CPI can convert that file into CSV so that we can load that data into SAP HCM. That is straightforward, right?
okay? No, why do you need to send through CSV to SAP? You can send without sending the converter. If you have the web service, you can directly connect to the SAP system. So CSV file, mostly in the real-time scenario, we use CSV file to place the file in SFTP folder. Okay. So let's say in our case, for example, you are saying SAP system. So on-premise system, when you are connecting through adapters, okay, you don't need to give the CSV file, because you are not placing the file in the SFTP particular physical location. Okay. So it makes sense when we are creating the file to place it in the physical location. But here, when if you are dealing with SAP system, directly you can use the SOAP adapter. Okay, so by using the SOAP adapter, the XML format, the same kind of XML data that goes directly to the SAP system.
No, is it so? Like from CPI to suppose say like we have on-premise SAP HCM system, so we can directly load the data from CPI to SAP HCM.
Yeah. It goes
because we
yeah. So it goes in that way, Srinivas. So you can think like this. Any CSV file, which occasions we use the CSV converter, wherever you want to place the file in the SFTP, and which occasions you will expect JSON format, that is from the systems which are not in non-SAP systems, like it could be any .NET based or any third party systems, and which occasion you will use the XML to JSON converter. In the same thing, when you are sending to the any other system that not in the SAP landscape, and to call directly to the JSON format to update into their system, then they can use this converter. Okay, so converters can be used in multiple situations, depends on their scenario, from sender to the receiver system. But how the converter works in the CPI, you can go to the like this technical configuration. Going forward, we use the sender and receiver systems also, so there you can understand much more about the adapters, what kind of adapter that is supporting, and what kind of adapter that doesn't support the XML. You will see the difference.
Thanks, Kumar.
Yeah.
And
And also one request for you sincerely, please practice it. The more questions, technical questions will come through practice only. Because I am seeing all generic things are asking. That doesn't help. You can see through practice only. There you can see the real thing. For example, I'm just looking for when we create the XSD, we have created the XSD file, right? So what exactly the difference between node list and node? These things I'm expecting, because that is where all the key things will be. But when you are practicing, you will start in those areas only. Like adapter is coming in PI, it's not coming in there. Of course, it comes here, but you need to drive this entire iflow. So technically, be strong in order to know these things. Please practice it, okay, in the weekends whenever you do, find the free time. So let's continue here. Oh, already 9. So now the JSON to XML converter. So as you are seeing here, the final output is just to maintain the XML tags. So if you look at the source data, that is showing in the like this, open brackets, and separated with the colon. Okay, but the output will be in the XML tag. There is one more thing, XML to JSON, that we will continue in the next session. Okay. So this is about the JSON. So till now we are arrived at the converter step. So first one, get that document to follow to install the software tools on your laptop. And the second thing, so far we have finished the almost we finished converters also. Converters, content modifier, request reply, content enricher. Okay, these are the basic steps that you can see in almost all of the iflows. Okay, so you should be thorough on how to use, how to get these details. Okay, then the next topic we will go to the script. Then you will understand much more in a development point of view, how to calculate the variables and details. Okay.
thanks, Kumar.
Yeah. Okay. So
Thanks.
we will meet in the next session. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.